Hello, Freedom Village. It is really great to be with you on St. Patrick's Day. I'm really sorry we can't be with you in person, but we thank Sarah Sherman and all the wonderful folks here at Freedom Village for inviting us in for this kind of a more select audience that we have here in the auditorium as Tad and I record for your St. Patrick's Day evening. It's a joy to be with you all again, even if it is only via the magic of pre-recording, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. My name's Charlie. I live just across the road in Coatesville. Tad drove up from Baltimore, Maryland today, and we're here to sing you some Irish songs for the next little while. So sit back and grab an Irish coffee or some corned beef and cabbage or whatever you might have with you tonight, and we'll sing our little hearts out, and we hope you sing along too. Like here's a song from Belfast. And when we dance, we'll dance together. And when we cry, we'll hold each other. And when we love, we'll love forever. Down by the Lagan side, try that with us. And when we dance, we'll dance together. And when we cry, we'll hold each other. And when we love, we'll love forever. Down by the Lagan side. Oh, sure she was a beauty. She won me with her smile. Down by the river, we walked along in style. She said, "You're welcome back again. Won't you stay a while?" Down by the Lagan side. And when we dance, we'll dance together. And when we cry, we'll hold each other. And when we love, we'll love forever. Down by the Lagan side. I said, "Who owns this music so full of joy and pain? The pipers and the harpers and the lamp-back drummers play." She said, "Who owns the teardrops falling in the rain? Down by the Lagan side." And when we dance, we'll dance together. And when we cry, we'll hold each other. And when we love, we'll love forever. Down by the Lagan side. You got some for us? Yeah. When we dance, we'll dance together. And when we cry, we'll hold each other. And when we love, we'll love forever. Down by the Lagan side. Oh, well, I do remember when we walked side by side. The bells of Belfast City sang harmony and pride. The past has been taken, but the future's yours and mine. Down by the Lagan side. And when we dance, we'll dance together. And when we cry, we'll hold each other. And when we love, we'll love forever. Down by the Lagan side. And when we dance, we'll dance together. And when we cry, we'll hold each other. And when we love, we'll love forever. Down by the Lagan side. Down by the Lagan side. Down by the Lagan side. Down by the Lagan side takes us to Belfast in the beautiful northern part of Ireland. We're going to be singing songs from all over Ireland to this evening with you all on St. Patrick's Day. I hope you're wearing your green. And I think I thanked Sarah a few moments ago, but Sarah, thank you very much for letting us come and being a part of the Freedom Village St. Patrick's Day celebration. we've been a part of it for many years, but the way things are right now, it's everything's still kind of locked down a little bit. But we look forward to being back with you all in person. And until that time, we'll just kind of sing for you through the miracle of modern technology. And modern technology allows us to let me just get this tuning a little better. My guitar was in my cold car for a little while, and it's still just warming up, and I apologize for that. But with the magic of technology, we can bring you back to the old days, like this song. And you might remember this song as a Bing Crosby song. Does anybody remember Bing Crosby out there? I thought so. My mother used to love Bing Crosby. I imagine she still does. She lives down in Melbourne, Florida, way down by Cocoa Beach, if you've ever been down that way before. And to be honest, I haven't seen my parents in a year. So if you haven't seen your children in a year, my parents are in the same boat. We're all in this together, but we're going to get through it all together too. This song may remind you of Bing Crosby, but it reminds me of my grandmother, my mother's mother, because she used to sing this song to me when I was just a little kid. And it takes us to the west of Ireland. If you ever go across the seas to Ireland, though it may be at the closing of your day, you will sit and watch the moon rise over Glada, and watch the sun go down on Galway Bay. Just to hear again the echo of the trout stream, women in the meadows making hay, and to sit and watch the turf fire in a cabin, and watch the little goslings as they play. For the breezes blowing o'er the seas from Ireland are perfumed by the heather as they grow. And the women in the uplands digging graves speak a language that the strangers do not know. For the strangers came, they tried to teach us their way. They scorned us just for being what we are, but they might as well go chasing after moonbeams, or light a penny candle from a star. And if there's going to be a life hereafter, somehow I'm sure there's going to be. I will ask my God to let me make my heaven in that dear land across the Irish Sea. And if there's going to be a life hereafter, and somehow I'm sure there's going to be, I will ask land across the Irish Sea. I will ask my God to let me make my heaven in that dear land across the Irish Sea. Take us over to the western part of Ireland right there with a great old song called Galway Bay. If we were all in the same room, I might ask how many folks have been to Galway before. There's always a few hands that go up. I've been to Galway a couple of times myself. It's beautiful, the wild west of Ireland, the last stop before you get to Boston or New York or Philadelphia. Beautiful part of the country, windswept, and looks very different from the east, as if you've been there, you know. We're going to sing you a song right now that kind of takes us down the west coast and takes us to County Kerry. This song is about an old monk. His name was Saint Brendan, and he was one of them traveling monks. A long time ago, when the Dark Ages swept across much of Europe, the Irish monks would make their way on foot or in a curragh, which is like a boat, or on a mule or some kind of horse, and preach the gospel wherever those things could take them. Saint Brendan was one of those men, and he sailed all the way across the North Atlantic, finally got to the shores of eastern Canada, they say. They call him Brendan the Navigator. And just like in Ireland, every castle, every bridge, every stream, every river, every town has its own poem and its own song. And so do all of Ireland's heroes and saints, patriarchs. And this song is about a fellow named Brendan, as I said. And he has a few different songs of his own and some various chronicles of his journey. In fact, it is said that Christopher Columbus read the Navigatio, which is about Brendan's voyage across the Atlantic as Columbus tried to follow the same route. Of course, Columbus didn't go anywhere near northern Canada. He went way, way south. But this song kind of tells you about the traveling character of Saint Brendan. And Tad kind of kicks it off. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3, 1. Well, when I was a lad on the Emerald Isle, I heard many stories, both lovely and wild, about great monsters and dragons that swallowed the ships as they sailed on the sea. Though I was an artist in canvas and paints, sailed with St. Brendan and his jolly saints. We told all the people goodbye for a while. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle. Now we'd been on the ocean for 94 days. We came to a spot where the sea was ablaze. Those demons from Hades were dancing with glee, burning the sailors alive on the sea. Then Brendan walked out on the blistering waves, drove all those demons right back in their caves. And all of the saints, for a heavenly smile, we sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle. Now we've been on the ocean for 94 days. We came to a spot where the sea was ablaze. Those demons from Hades were dancing with glee, burning the sailors alive on the sea. Then Brendan walked out on the blistering waves, drove all those demons right back in their caves. And all of the saints, for a heavenly smile, we sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed for St. Brendan's fair isle. Dad, you got something for us on the fiddle there? and we walked on the sand. We took out our bows and we killed us a bull. We roasted it up and had hot barbecue. And then after a while we were singing a song. We noticed the island was moving along. And we ate and we drank and we rode in high style. We sailed for St. Brendan's Fair Isle, Fair Isle. We sailed for St. Brendan's Fair Isle. Well now Brendan said, boys, this is much to my wish. Ride on the back of the world's biggest fish. Hold fast to the rope that is pulling our ship. We'll need it someday if this fish takes a dip. Well, we sailed every ocean, we sailed every sea, sailed every spot that a sailor could be. In 44 days, we sailed 10 million miles. We sailed for St. Brendan's Fair Isle, Fair Isle. We sailed for St. Brendan's Fair Isle. Oh, we sailed for St. Brendan's Fair Isle, Fair Isle. And we sailed for St. Brendan's Fair Isle. Take us home, Desmond. Woo! St. Brendan's Fair Isle. All about an early 6th century monk who sailed all the way across the North Atlantic, finally got to the shores of eastern Canada. We hope you're having a good time out there. We certainly appreciate you letting us be a part of your St. Patrick's Day celebration here tonight. We're going to sing you a song right now that takes us back to Ireland so far, so long ago, that nobody even knows who wrote this song. There's a lot of different versions of it, but in nearly every version, there are a couple of the same things happening. There's a fellow who's a whistling gypsy, some kind of itinerant, who makes his way into town, or in this case, onto castle grounds, and there's almost always some young lady who falls in love with him, and they go off together into the Irish sunset. So in this song, a whistling gypsy comes through town, and he makes his way to the castle grounds. And in this particular version, there's an Irish king whose daughter, the princess, falls in love with the whistling gypsy. And she comes down her long tower, all those long stairs, and she goes out on the front lawn, and she follows the whistling gypsy into the sunset. Well, the father, as you might imagine, is not at all happy with this change of circumstance. And he mounts his trusty steed, and he follows his daughter. But all is well that ends well. It turns out that the whistling gypsy is not a gypsy at all. He's a lord of these lands all over. He's a wealthy king himself, and the daughter is now going to be a queen, his own queen. The song is called The Whistling Gypsy. We'll teach you the chorus, so you can help us out. You feel like singing with us? Okay, good. The chorus goes like this. Audie-doo, audie-doo, da-day. Audie-doo, audie-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of the lady. Well, the whistling gypsy came over the hill, down through the valley so shady. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of the lady. He was singing, audie-doo, audie-doo, da-day, audie-doo, audie-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of the lady. Well, she left her father's castle gate. She left her untrue lover. She left her servants and her estate to follow the gypsy road. She was singing, audie-doo, audie-doo, da-day, audie-doo, audie-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. Well, her father saddled up his fastest steed to search these valleys all over, searching for his daughter at great speed, and they're whistling Gypsy Rover. He was singing too. Audie-doo, audie-doo, da-day, audie-doo, audie-day, and he whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. How'd he ride there, Tad? Mansion fine, down by the river, so shady, and there was music, and there was wine for the gypsy and his maid. Everybody was singing, audie-doo, audie-doo, da-day, audie-doo, audie-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. Well, he is no gypsy, my father, she said, but lord of these lands all over, and I will stay till my dying day with my whistling gypsy roll. Here we go now. Audie-doo, audie-doo, da-day, audie-doo, audie-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. One more time, now you ready? Audie-doo, audie-doo, da-day, audie-doo, audie-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. The Whistling Gypsy Rover, sung for you right here at Freedom Village tonight on St. Patrick's Day. If you're just joining us, my name is Charlie. I live in Coatesville myself, just across Route 30. And Tad Marks drove all the way from Baltimore, Maryland to be with you all here tonight. And we hope you're having as much fun as we are. We're singing along, and hopefully so are you. And some good old songs from the Emerald Isle, the old sod, as they call it. Well, Tad's going to play a fiddle tune right now. It's an old Irish fiddle tune, and it's called The Mason's Apron. And it's one of those old dance tunes. Now, a long time ago, long before radio and long before television, you know, it was up to all of us to entertain each other. And back in the old countries especially, or in the rural parts of the United States, people would tell stories, these old tales of running away from a bear, or when they were sent off to the Battle of 1812, things like that. You can make up your own, for generations, hundreds of years, thousands of years. Entertainment was made by people themselves long before you could watch television shows. Well, if you were lucky enough to play an instrument or know somebody who did, music became a big part of your life after the long day of fishing or the long day of farming was done. And in Ireland, back in the old days, it was no different. And in fact, that is still much the way it is today. Well, we're going to feature Tad Marks playing a fiddle tune for you right now. And in the old days, fiddle playing or penny whistle playing or mandolin playing, those things were usually to accompany dancers. They weren't meant to be just listened to like a fiddle tune. They were so that you get up and dance and kind of shake off the dust of the day. And so we invite you to do that right now. He's going to play this old Irish reel called The Mason's Apron. And if you want to get up and dance, the aisles are yours. too. Nice job on that one, Tad. Called the Mason's Apron. Well, you know, in Ireland, whenever there's an evening of music, of course you have to have an Irish drinking song or two. So we're going to sing you one right now, and it's called The Wild Rover. And you've probably heard it before. If you've been to an Irish pub in the Philadelphia area or anywhere in Canada or the United Kingdom or Ireland or even in Japan or Mexico, chances are when you were in that Irish pub and if everybody was singing these Irish songs, you heard this song. It's a song that's gone all over the world. Wherever the Irish have gone, they've taken their songs, they've taken their stories with them. And this is one of them. And it's all about this young fella who leaves home and he walks the four corners of Ireland. And he makes a small fortune during his time, but he runs out of all that money and he has to go home again, sort of like the prodigal son. And if we were all together, I would kind of teach you the chorus and ask you to clap along. So when I sang, and it's no, nay, never, you would clap 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, nay, never, no more. 1, 2, will I play the wild rover? 1, no, never, no more. So, this is the honor system. We hope you'll be clapping along with us tonight. Well, I've been the wild rover for many's a year, and I spent all my money on whiskey and beer. But now I'm returning to Golden Gray Store, and I never will play the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. I went into an alehouse I used to frequent, and I told the landlady the money was spent. I asked her for credit, she answered me nay. Such a custom as yours I can have any day, and it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. Well, I pulled from my pocket 10 sovereigns bright, and the landlady's eyes opened wide with delight. She said, we're out of whiskey, wine's on the best. And the words that I spoke, they were only in jest. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. You got some more, Sam? What I've done, and I'll ask them to pardon their prodigal son. And if they forgive me, as sometimes before, sure I never will play the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. It's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the drinking song. We need to have a drinking song now again, especially when you're celebrating Ireland, the home of Guinness, the home of Jameson's, the home of all those delicious beverages that we can enjoy in moderation from time to time. We're going to sing you a beautiful Irish ballad right now. The Irish are known for their sentimental ballads, and this is one that has a melody that you might be familiar with. Just on the other side of the water, in Scotland, they have an old song that they sing called Loch Lomond. The bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road. And I'll be in Scotland afore ye, for me and my true love will never meet again. On the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. Well, the Irish took that melody and they made a song all their own. And it really pulls on your heartstrings, as so many of those old, beautiful Irish ballads do. Now, this particular song is called Red is the Rose. And as I said, you'll recognize the melody from Loch Lomond, but the words are entirely different, tells a story very different. And I hope you'll sing along with us. I'll teach you the chorus. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. And my love is fairer than any. My bonny Irish lass, come over the hill to your darling. You choose the road along, and I'll make the vow, and I'll be your true love forever. In yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. And my love is fairer than down by Killarney's green woods that we strayed. The moon and the stars, they were shining. The moon shone its rays on her locks of golden hair, and she swore she'd be my love forever. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. But my love is fairer than any. It's not for the parting from my sister Kate, and it's not for the grief of my mother. No, it's all for love of my bonny Irish lass. But my heart is breaking forever. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. But my love is fairer than any. He'll take the high road, I'll take the low road. I'll be in Scotland afore ye. For me and my true love will never meet again on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. Beautiful old Irish song called Red is the Rose, and I thought I might end it with a chorus of Loch Lomond, the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. Well, we're going to take you to Dublin City right now. I don't think we've sung a song from Dublin since we've been here. Wow. This is the first song we've sung for you folks at Freedom Village tonight from Dublin City, one of my favorite cities in all the world. Dublin City has changed a lot, not only in the last century, but just in my lifetime alone. The first time I was there was back in 1985, and I was about 19 years old when I was there. And Dublin was as Irish can be. Any restaurant you would go into, any pub, any little shop, filled with Irish folks. Well, today, when you go there, if you can go there once this pandemic is kind of opened up for us, you will find that you're just as likely in Dublin City to be waited on by someone from Russia or Poland or France. The European Union has brought in all kinds of folks into the beautiful city of Dublin, the beautiful country of Ireland. After all, who would not want to live there? And Ireland has become a modern hustle and bustle city. They called it the Celtic Tiger about 30 years ago when the Irish economy really took off. And people from all over Europe came to work and live in Ireland, especially Dublin and also in Belfast. Well, this song tells the story of a fellow who had an old traditional job. He was a ferryman, and he worked one of the ferry boats on the River Liffey. The River Liffey cuts through Dublin, and if you've ever been on the River Liffey, you've probably been in one of those flat boats, and they take you along as on a tour, and you look at the beautiful Georgian facades of all those old buildings facing that beautiful river. Well, back in the old days, ferrymen were moving goods, hard goods, soft goods, animals like pigs and sheep, all along the River Liffey. Those days are gone. Now with vans and trains and planes and Amazon Prime, you don't get to see a lot of those guys that would be on those ferry boats. And this particular fella finds that his job is gone. He no longer has his ferryman's job. The job has just gone away with the modernity that has taken over Dublin City. However, he still has his beautiful town, he has his lovely wife, and he has this great song all about him. And the song is called The Ferryman. And at the very end of the song, you'll notice that there's still hope. Even though times change and we're in kind of shifting sands right now, there is light at the end of this tunnel. So the song ends well. Even though his life is different, he still has all those beautiful things that are blessings in his life. And I know you count the blessings in your life too. The song is called The Ferryman. Well, the river boats are gone from the Brest and Liffey. The ferryman is stranded on the quay. The Dublin docks are dying, and the way of life is gone. And Molly, it was part of you and me. Ah, where the strawberry beds sweep down to the Liffey, it kissed away worries from my brow. I loved you well today, and I'll love you more tomorrow. If you ever love me, Molly, love me now. It was the only life I knew. It was hard but never lonely. The river ferry made a man of me. Ah, but it's gone now. a whisper, I've forgotten even now, and it's over, Molly, over, can't you see? Ah, where the strawberry beds sweep down to the liffey and kissed away worries from my brow. I loved you well today, and I'll love you more tomorrow. If you ever love me, Molly, love me now. What you got there, Chad? Here we go now. Oh, where the strawberry beds sweep down to the liffey and kissed away worries from my brow. I loved you well today, and I'll love you more tomorrow. If you ever love me, Molly, love me now. So now I'll sit and tend the yard, and I'll spend my time talking. I hear them whisper, Charlie's on the door. But Molly, we're still living, and darling, we're still young, and I'm never, ever on your heart and soul. I'll wear the strawberry beds sweep down to the liffey and kissed away worries from my brow. I loved you well today, and I'll love you more tomorrow. If you ever love me, Molly, love me now. I'll wear the strawberry beds sweep down to the liffey and kissed away worries from my brow. I love you well today, and I'll love you more tomorrow. If you ever love me, Molly, love me now. If you ever love me, Molly, love me now. If you ever love me, Molly, love me now. Woo! Good old song from Dublin City. I'm looking forward to visiting that place again when the world opens up a little more. As I might have said a moment ago, the last time I was there was about 4 years ago, and my, how Dublin has changed since the very first time I was there, way back in the day. You know, the Irish have gone all over the eastern seaboard, much of Atlantic Canada, as well as Atlantic US, like Boston and Philadelphia, New York, was built by the Irish when they came over in great numbers in the mid-19th century, which was an event that was triggered by a very disastrous circumstance back at home. That is to say, the potato famine. 3 years in a row, the potato crop failed. The potato crop was the staple food for the peasantry of Ireland, and they only had one choice, and that was to leave. And they came to this country in droves, and they built the cities, they built the canals, they built the great bridges, they built those big brick structures you see in New York or Philadelphia. They built the railroads. Well, they also went way up north into Prince Edward Island, Canada. The very first time I was there, I was sitting, which was many years ago now, gosh, like 26 years ago, I was sitting in with some Irish musicians up there, had a grand old time. This next song takes us to there. Prince Edward Island, the only province in Canada that is also an island, by the way. And the song is called The Ballad of St. Anne's Reel. Now, St. Anne's Reel is an old fiddle tune, and someone wrote some words for it and put a nice story around it as well. And the story takes us to a sailor man standing on the shores of beautiful PEI, and the song is called The Ballad of St. Anne's Reel. The tune is St. Anne's Reel, and we invite you to jump right up and dance along and sing along if you get the mood on you. Tad Marks, you kick this off. Well, he was stranded in some tiny town near Prince Edward Island, waiting for a ship to come and find him. A lonely place, a friendly face, some coffee, and a tiny trace of fiddling in the distance far behind him. Now a diamond crossed the counter, then shy yellow and a brand new friend walked down the streets in the wintry weather. The yellow light, an open door, a welcome friend, there's room for more. Then they were just standing there together. He said, I've heard the fiddle tune somewhere, but I can't remember when. Did I hear it on some foreign shore? Did I hear more and sent his body just as graceful as a child. He said there's magic in the fiddle's arm, there's magic in this town, magic in the dancer's feet and the way they put them down. People smiling everywhere, boots, ribbons, locks of hair, after old blue suits and Eastern gowns. One more time. Well, now the sailor's gone and the room is bare and the old piano's sitting there. Someone's hat's left hanging on the rack. The empty chair, the wooden floor, the nose touching shoes, no more from dancing, just waiting to come back. And the fiddle's in the closet of some daughter of this town. The strings are broke, oh, it's gone, and the cover's buttoned down. But sometimes on December nights, when the air is cold and the wind is right, the melody goes dancing through this town. Way up there in PEI, Prince Edward Island, Canada. Well, we're going to take you right back to Dublin again with a beautiful ballad. Not only does that town have fast, upbeat, sing-along, dance-along numbers, of course, Dublin City is one of the great cities in the world that has so many beautiful ballads written all about the city itself. Dubliners have long since fallen in love with their city, with the architecture, with the history. You may not know this, but Dublin is originally a Viking settlement. When the Vikings were kind of taking over the whole place in the 9th century, and even before that, Dublin, what became the Dublin city that we know today, was originally a Viking trading post. So there's Viking blood in all of those Dubliners. We're going to sing you a song called Dublin in the Rare Old Times. And it's another song that talks about the beautiful glories past of Dublin, the promise of the future, but how things have changed so much for people who live there. As I think I mentioned, now when you go to Dublin, there's fast buses whizzing around, and there's buildings that are much, much taller than you might remember the first time you were there. It looks as modern as any city in Europe. And this particular song is about an older fellow who's seen Dublin go from the beautiful Georgian city of his youth to a modern European city. And he laments that fact. A song called Dublin in the Rare Old Times, raised on songs and stories, heroes of renown, the passing tales and glories that once was Dublin town. The hallowed halls and houses, haunting children's rhymes, that once was Dublin city in the rare old times. Ring a rosy as the light declines. I remember Dublin city in the rare old times. Well, me name it is Sean Dempsey, as Dublin as can be, born hard and late in Pimlico, in a house that ceased to be. By trade I was a cooper, lost out to redundancy, like my house that fell to progress. My trade's a memory. Ring a rosy as the light declines. I remember Dublin city in the rare old time. Well, I caught it Peggy Dignan, as pretty as you please. She was a rogue and a child of Mary, from the rebel liberties. I lost her to a student lad with eyes as black as coal, when he took her off to Birmingham. Well, she took away my soul. Rosie, as the light declines, I remember Dublin City in the red old time. Well, the years, they've made me bitter. The gargles dimmed my brain. For Dublin keeps on changing, and nothing seems the same. The Metropole and the Pillar are gone, the Royal long since pulled down, as that grey unyielding concrete makes a city of my town. So fare thee well, sweet Anna Liffey, I can no longer stay and watch the rude glass cages spring up along the way. My mind's too full of memories, too old to hear new chimes. I'm a part of what was Dublin in the red old times. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I remember Dublin City in the red old times. Dublin in the rare old times. Hope you folks at Freedom Village are having a good time here. We have a very socially distanced audience in the auditorium right now. Everything is very, very safe, and we certainly appreciate Sarah for inviting us to be part of your evening today on St. Patrick's Day. Tad is going to have to go back to Baltimore in a few minutes, and I'm going to head across the road. We have two more pieces for you before we go, and we hope you're enjoying your Irish evening here at Freedom Village, and we look forward to seeing you, as I said earlier, all again once a lot of this is behind us. Better days are coming. There's light. With springtime comes the light at the end of this tunnel. We're going to feature Tad Marks doing another fiddle tune right now called Bill Cheatham. And if you know bluegrass music, Tad's a wonderful bluegrass player. You know, if you scratch the surface of an old bluegrass tune, chances are pretty good that you're going to find an old Irish or an old Scottish or an old English fiddle tune, because so much of American bluegrass is based on the music of the British Isles. The old songs, the old tunes, most of them, or at least a lot of them, are, because they're still writing them even to this very day. But I bet you 50 years ago, right when bluegrass started with Bill Monroe, what was the year that started, Tad?
It was the late 40s.
Okay, so a little more than 50 years ago, more like 67 years ago. Most of the tunes from bluegrass back in those days were old-timey tunes which could be easily traced to Ireland, Scotland, or England. But the musicians are still writing songs all the time. So this song is one called Bill Cheatham. Trace it right back to the British Isles, and Tad does a great job with it on the fiddle. And you're welcome to dance. We invite you to, actually.
I use the bow, too.
You can
fiddle and the bow.
Fiddle and bow.
Good job there, Tad. Hey, we really appreciate you letting us be part of your evening tonight. We want to wish you all a happy St. Patrick's Day. We look forward to seeing you soon. We're going to finish up with a song that's a true story, all about an Irish young man who sailed from Ireland to Australia. He was looking for his fortune. He didn't find it, so he became a highwayman over there. And eventually the long arm of the law caught up with him. You might have heard this story before, and we're going to leave you with this great old tune called The Wild Colonial Boy. So happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody, and take care of yourselves, and God bless.
Well, there was a wild colonial boy, Jack Dugan was his name. He was born and raised in Ireland, in a place called Castlemaine. He was his father's only son, his mother's pride and joy. And dearly did his parents love their wild colonial boy. Now at the early age of 15 years, he left his native home to Australia's sunny shores. He was inclined to roam. He robbed the rich, he helped the poor, he shot James McEvoy. A terror to Australia was their wild colonial boy. Now one morning on the prairie, as Jack he rode along, listening to those mockingbirds singing a cheerful song. Up rode 3 mountain troopers, Billy Davis and Fitzroy. They all set out to capture him, their wild colonial boy. Well, surrender, go Jack Dugan, don't you think, with 3 to 1. Surrender in the Queen's high name, for you are a thundering son. Well, Jack pulled 2 pistols from his belt, and he proudly waved them high. I'll fight, but not surrender, said the wild colonial boy. Well, he fired a shot at Kelly and brought him to the ground. Then turning round to Davis, he received a fatal wound. For a bullet, it pierced his proud young heart from the pistol of Fitzroy. And that was how they captured him, their wild colonial boy. There was no wild colonial boy, Jack Dugan was his name. He was born and raised in Ireland, in a place called Castlemaine. He was his father's only son, his mother's pride and joy. And dearly did his parents love their wild colonial boy. And dearly did his parents love their wild colonial boy.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day, and we will see you soon.